Howard J. Dingers. And this is 3 Count Review.
Welcome to Monday Night Raw!
Monday Night Raw edition. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Howard J. Dingers, and welcome to 3 Count Review Monday Night Raw edition. Today, joining me in studio, we have just Tyler.
Maybe Cal will show up.
Cal will show up.
But yes, I'm here.
Cal's busy. Cal's doing school things, so that's okay.
Academic advising, which I have to go to after this show.
Yay, academic advising.
Yep.
I'm just gonna do it tomorrow. I don't wanna, cause even after this, I have to record the podcast.
Okay.
And then SmackDown. I
enough.
have to watch SmackDown.
Yeah.
So, a lot to talk about. So let's just dive right into this. So, opening segment. I still can't believe this happened. All right, I'll go through it first, and then we'll actually talk about it. So, opening segment, Roman Reigns comes out. And he comes out in his jeans. He comes out with his hair up, his shirt, and his necklace that he wears. He came out as Joe. He did not come out as Roman, and he said that. He said, I've been coming out here and I've been lying to you guys. I've been saying that I'm Roman Reigns, and I'm this fighting champion, and that I'm gonna come in here and defend week in, week out, but like I said, it's a lie. Yeah, my real name is Joe Antonoi, something. Anawai. Thank you. And and I've been living with leukemia for 11 years. And the leukemia has now sidelined him. He has not. It's unfortunately come back, and he had to relinquish the title, and he needs to step away from wrestling for the foreseeable future. God. For anyone who listens to this, you all know that I am not a fan of the Roman Reigns. When I say Roman, I'm talking about the character.
Yeah.
When I say Joe, I'm talking about the man. I'm not a fan of the Roman Reigns character. I'm not a fan of how they've handled him, how they've booked him, how every character on Raw gets sucked into the black hole that is the Roman character. But you never want to see this happen to anyone. This is a very serious matter. If I saw some statistics, and if they are true, a battle with leukemia, you only win 50% of the time, and your chances go drastically down the second time around. And just seeing what really made this real for me was, because obviously it's sad, and I saw all this stuff, and seeing Seth crying on the Roman went up to the ramp when he walked out, and Dean and Seth came out and hugged them. Dean just put his head into Roman's shoulder. Seth was just visibly bawling. What made this real for me was I was on Twitter, seeing people like Becky Lynch, Tama Tonga, over in New Japan, and Tommaso Ciampa. People like them who are in character 24/7, break character, and like talk out to Joe, the rest or the person. It broke me. Like, this caught me off guard. I'm still in shock. Like, I still have like no words for this.
Yeah. Let me just say that for the past 5 years or so, 5 years, I've been a pretty huge fan of Roman Reigns. Every single wrestling event I've attended to, I believe I've gone to 4, seen him live. The dude he's one hell of a guy. The dude can perform. He's just amazing at everything he does. And backstage, what he's done to the company, he's such a good person. He's helped with Make-A-Wish. He's helped with so many other causes. The list is endless. What this guy has done.
He's a locker room leader.
To help yes, exactly. He is the locker room leader. That's why he is where he is today.
Mm-hmm.
And when he comes back, hopefully he does come back. God, pray to God pray to God he comes back. When he does, I'm going to say when he does because I know he will. He's going to be right back being that locker room leader that he is. It's just so unfortunate to see this happen to good people like Joe in a way. And it was tough for me because it came out of nowhere.
It really did.
I didn't bawl, but I wanted to.
Yeah.
And there are so many tweets I was seeing. It was just such a positive word spread.
Yeah. Huge support from everyone in the business, from other businesses,
from everybody.
Everything.
You were tweeting. Cal was tweeting. Some of my other friends are tweeting. Roman, we wish you all the best, man. You'll beat this. You got this, big dog. Just keep it up. You got this fight.
Roman did say that this isn't a retirement speech and that he is going to kick leukemia's butt.
Kick leukemia's a word.
Yes.
Which you can't say on air.
Yes. He said he'll be back and we'll see him very, very soon. And I do hope that is true.
If there's any type of optimism here, you mentioned that the first time around he beat it quickly.
Yes.
Maybe this will be the same thing. I'm really hoping he can be back in time for WrestleMania. I mean, you just never know with this stuff. You don't know how long it's going to take.
Right.
Because it's different in every case.
And it's really different because this isn't an injury like when Daniel Bryan had to leave. No. Like, this isn't, I have to leave because of health, like actual physical health reason.
Right.
Like, I'm not going off to rest my body. I still have to go fight this. I still have to be fighting for this. Yeah. And he's still going to be, he's still our fighting champion. Like, yes. He said that he was going to be a fighting champion, and he said in this speech that he let us down, that he lied to us, that he can't do that anymore. I believe he's still going to be a fighting champion.
He always will be, and I just want to say that he's not lying. Those aren't lies. He can't control that.
Right.
It's so unfortunate. Just cancer sucks, man. So we wish you all the best. Get healthy, yes. Roman.
Now, off of the back of this, we're going to jump right into the main event because I want to talk about that first, and then we'll talk about the rest of the show.
This is the entertaining part.
This was the entertaining part, and very controversial.
Yeah.
Apparently, I've seen a lot of people who didn't like this. I personally loved it.
I loved it, too.
And we'll get into it. So, the main event, off of the back of this, was Seth and Dean getting a title shot against Dolph and Drew, the tag team title championship. And after a really good match, obviously, these four are all amazing. After a really good match and a really good finish, I saw Rollins hit a curb stomp on Dolph Ziggler to win 1, 2, 3. They won the title, and everyone in the stadium lost it, capitalizing on the emotion. It was perfect. It was very well done. Everyone celebrating. Ambrose and Rollins hug for a second. I have to toot my own horn on this. Earlier in the show, while the Roman thing was happening, I sat there to myself and I'm thinking, the wrestling bookie in my head was going, oh jeez, I bumped him. I was going, man, this would be a really good time to turn Dean heel. Like, Roman leaves the stage and then Dean turns on Seth on the stage. But then I was like, no, they would never do that. No, like, that'd be terrible. But later in the show, hey, you want to let him in? Cal's actually here. Later in the show, before we actually dive into this, Cal, I can turn mic 3 on if you want to, because mic 3, I believe, actually works now. Would you like to say anything about the opening segment? Because we're moving on to the next one.
It was very sad to watch. I turned it on and I kind of knew something was up right away as soon as I saw Roman in street clothes, but just hope for the best for Roman's sake. I know he's got a family, and family comes first. And hopefully he can get back and tickle leukemia's tail. And I was just telling Tom, and I'm sure he will, because Roman always wins. So, and I'm sure he'll win this battle with leukemia too. So best of our prayers and everything to Roman and his family.
Right. So now we're jumping right into the main event, fittingly. So we're talking about right at the end, Ambrose and Rollins celebrating with the tag titles. And after they hug, Dean so perfectly drops the title spins Seth around, kicks him, dirty deeds in the middle of the ring. And everyone was shocked. I swear, for the past year and a half, WWE have been just plain out telling us Dean is going to turn heel. Like,
It's a
his
matter of when.
promos have literally, over the past couple months, been, I'm going to turn heel. Watch out for it.
Yeah.
Tonight was the one night, or yesterday, Raw was the one night that everyone forgot about that. This was perfect. And I saw a lot of backlash on the internet. A lot of people thought that this was disrespectful to Roman and that it was in bad taste. And I saw someone say that this was one of the worst decisions and that WWE have made in a while.
Not the worst decision.
This is a great
it's
decision.
the best decision It's one of the best decisions in recent memory.
Like, Ambrose continued the attack. He had another dirty deeds on the exposed floor outside of the ring. And this, I just can't say enough good things about it. Ambrose's acting in this was so good because he hit that first dirty deeds and he looked shocked himself.
Yes. Yep.
Like, he was like, oh my God,
What did I
did
just
that.
do?
He was like, why did I do that? And Michael Cole was perfect. Michael Cole was saying, oh, what? Not tonight. Not on this night.
Not
Why would
this
you do
night,
that?
yeah.
And Dean was just going like, why'd you do that? Oh, crap. Now I got to follow through. And then he just kept on with the beatdown. And he had Seth in the dirty deeds for the second time. He was just holding him there for a second. And he said a couple things. And I'm trying to remember what he said, but he said, like, you know,
You wanted this?
you wanted this. You told me this was going to happen. And at first it seems like he's talking to Seth. But it also kind of seems like he's talking to himself. Like the demon's in his head or
Yeah.
something. He's the lunatic after all. Like, it was so perfect. It was so perfect. So the reports are that they were going to turn Dean at Survivor Series.
Okay.
The report was he was going to turn on Ambrose and Reigns, or Rollins and Reigns,
Okay.
at Survivor Series. And apparently going into Raw, Creative was told, hey, Roman is injured. We're not going to tell you what's happening. You're going to see what happens, and then you're going to have to figure out stuff right after that. So Creative saw Roman's speech, found out that he's out for
Who knows when.
indefinite,
Yeah.
for a long time, and then was like, all right, what do we do? Decided to turn Dean heel that night. I think it was one of the best decisions they've ever made. This was great. This was amazing. Because, like I said, no one saw it coming. Like, everyone was like, okay, they're giving them the tag titles so that we can capitalize on the emotion of all this. Perfect. And it's so good. I don't know. What did you guys think of this?
I'm one of the few that saw it coming.
Did you?
Yes.
I said,
I just had a feeling.
I said it before Catwalk did. When Roman was on the stage and they were doing the Shield thing, I was like sitting there and I was like, God, this would be a really good time for a Dean heel turn. But then I was like, no, they're not going to do that.
That would be too soon.
That would have been too soon.
Because that's
But
real.
2 hours later.
Yeah, because what happened at the beginning of the show, that's real life.
No, exactly.
So they're not going to do that. But you flash forward 2 3 hours later, all right? They're back to their own little world. There is no more real world action. And I saw this. I just saw this coming. I just had a feeling, because
I'm
from my
actually really
experience,
impressed that you saw that coming.
because I've been watching this for the past 16 years,
Right.
and I've seen so many instances where everything is at such a high point, and then it goes diving down so fast in an instant.
Yeah.
This was just another example of that.
I loved it.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, and you could just, during the attack, Seth, you could see Seth saying, "It's okay, it's okay." Maybe acknowledging that he screwed up himself.
Yeah.
Who knows what's going on?
So
Yeah,
And this goes, so if this is the story they're telling, then it's amazing. I saw someone on the internet, I think it was the guys at Wrestle Talk, said that the story that they might be trying to tell is Dean, the heel, is actually mad at Seth because Seth turned on them 4 years ago now.
You're right. Yeah.
And now the 2 times that they've gotten back together, Roman's been injured. Roman has gone out and spoiled
True.
the thing. And then when Roman came back, Dean got injured. So the Shield reunions have been very cursed.
Yeah.
So the story that
Ooh.
we think they're telling now is that Dean is mad at Seth because Seth cost them those 3 years. Like, we could have been something great for 3 years, and you screwed it up. And that's why Seth was just like, you know what, you're right. Because Seth as the babyface has already reconciled that. They've already made up. They've been on a run for 2 years now.
Right.
But Dean is finally just like, this is done. I'm done with this. We can't do it anymore because it just brings bad things, and it's all your fault. And if that's the story they're telling,
That's incredible.
it's so
that's
good,
that's
right?
incredible stuff.
And they told it like you said, and like we've been bringing up, Seth and Dean, just these little things during the attack, like what they were saying, perfectly telling the story. It's just so good. I'm gonna have to watch this segment again because it's just so good. But how about you, Cal?
Honestly, I can't remember the last time
I don't think
sat on
that's
my
working.
couch.
Pull it up a little, maybe.
Is it working? Working?
I can't tell if now it is.
Yay. Okay.
Maybe.
You just want to use mine.
Does this need to be on too? I think that
Can you
needs-
hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
That's my bad.
All right, sounds good. Just I can't remember the last time I sat on my couch, like just honestly shocked because I did not see that coming, and I thought it was so well done. Only small problem I have with it is though, I feel like you could have turned Ambrose during the match, and then that way Ziggler and McIntyre keep the tag team titles.
I like this,
Which makes
though.
this more compelling because they're tag champs. So what do they do
Exactly.
from here?
Exactly. This turns into Shawn Michaels, John Cena.
Yeah, everyone's forgetting now that they're tag champs.
I forgot it.
Even though that they're not together.
And
technically.
Seth is a double champ.
Yeah, Seth's a double
we
champ
need to
now.
remember now, Seth has been double champ with the WWE and the US at one point, and now he's double champ with the IC and the tag belt.
He's one of the greatest of this
Seth is
generation.
He's so good.
One of the
Like,
greatest of this generation.
Seth is not
so
only
close.
they're not only tag champs, Seth's still the IC champ.
Yep.
It frees up Seth Rollins too. Like that's the best part. Like I
Yes.
watched a video on Wrestle Culture where
Yes.
it was just why this Shield reunion has ruined Seth Rollins, and honestly,
Here's why.
it has like
Yeah.
just he was the man on Monday Night Raw.
Monday Night
He was
Rollins. Mm-hmm.
Monday Night Rollins, and the Intercontinental title wasn't getting any exposure. The WWE Championship wasn't getting any exposure.
Which is why
this frees up all the belts too, which is
I
nice.
talked about at the beginning of the show when this Roman character became such a black hole, and it just sucked in every other storyline and hurt because the Shield reunion was to get Roman over.
Yeah,
So and that's
turning
why,
Strowman heel
Right.
was to get Roman over.
and now that's out the window too.
Thank God.
But yeah, like now Seth is free. Seth's back to just being Seth.
And like we get Seth Rollins versus Dean. One thing they cannot do with Ambrose, they do it with most of their heels, and I'm so tired of it. Don't make him the little weasel heel. Like make Dean like able to like stand on his own where he's not afraid of anybody. As much as I love Rollins, one thing that was just so infuriating to watch was when it was always, oh, I gotta have J&J interfere on every match. Don't do that with Ambrose. Like heels can stand on their own for a reason, and when you have a heel stand on his own, and the more powerful he is, the better it is for that babyface that you'll have up and coming that you want to get that rub. It will be a lot better for them. Like you beat that man, and they can't do it with Dean Ambrose. Like they gotta like just make him stand on his own. And I think we get a feud with face Rollins versus heel Ambrose. And it's going to be so great, and I'm going to love every second of it.
Now here's what I think they should do with this, and they could. There's a lot of potential with this storyline because now there's two championships technically, but you know between the two guys they have the tag team and the IC. Now they can go in and going into a pay-per-view, they can feud over the IC belt, have that match to open the show, and then later in the night have to defend their tag team titles together. Like, there's so many things that they could defend the titles and then fight for the IC title later. There's so many different things that they can do with it.
Who does, assuming that they're not going to be tag team champions forever, who do you think they get the belts dropped to?
I hope this needs to be...
I don't think it's going to be Dogs of War again because they're
No.
on the cusp of breaking up too. Strowman's already out.
Right, Strowman, I can't call him McDolphin anymore.
And
Just call him McDolph.
McDolphin,
and McIntyre is about to go on his own soon too. So
I would hope.
yeah,
Someone said it would be a really good idea. Crown Jewel. It was announced that because it was going to be the triple threat for the championship. Now it's just going to be Strowman versus Lesnar for the vacant belt.
Pray to God Strowman wins that match.
Strowman
Or-
needs to win that match.
Or double count out, or double DQ something. No one wins. Then they have a tournament going into Survivor Series.
You
to
saw
claim the
you
title.
saw the Wrestle Culture video, didn't
that-
you?
was
or
it
what,
Wrestle
or
Culture?
Wall Culture?
Was it what culture?
With Simon or I think it was probably with Simon Miller, where like
Okay.
they had
some
talked
video
about
this
like
morning.
that it was like a 10 year or like 10 or 20 year anniversary of when they did this
Yes.
tournament at Survivor Series, and then they did that too with when Rollins tore his ACL. I'm pretty sure it was at Survivor Series
Yes.
where it was the end of
Dean
the
versus
tournament.
Roman.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Which
and
started.
when Finn lost too. I mean they did a qualifying match into a fatal four-way, but
Yeah, so it was like-
that's what you can do. You can do that tournament to crown an unexpected champion. You could give it to McIntyre, you give it back to Finn, give it to Bobby Lashley, give it to someone, Drew. I think they should give it to Strowman. I think he's been more than deserving for the past year.
He's back as a face now too.
Exactly. So I think they should just go ahead and do that. But I would be intrigued if they went with the tournament type
The
of thing.
tournament would be a really good idea, but just how much has Strowman's character have we been like, just with booking decisions where like, oh, he's not gonna be able to come back from that. He's
Right.
done. Like he's jobbed out, and he keeps coming back. And honestly, like
Did you hear the creative reasoning behind this whole storyline? So apparently, through the 6-man feud, creative had future plans for Seth, Dean, and Roman,
Right.
which was the turn at Survivor Series. They had no plans for the Dogs of War.
that doesn't shock me at
They
all.
they were literally writing that story week by week. They had no end game, quote, no end game for Strowman. So now, and apparently this past weekend they started at a house show. He saved the Shield from Drew and Dolph. So he was already starting to turn face. Now he turned face later in the night. So now he's back to face. So I don't know. It's interesting. I think they're just going to give him the title.
As much as the Roman Reigns situation, like we feel like really
It's
bad
terrible,
about the
yes.
human, yes, but the character, like it has opened up like a lot of things.
It opens up creatively. It opens up a lot of stuff for Monday Night Raw.
It opened up a lot of stuff last night.
Huh?
It opened up a lot of stuff last night.
It opened up
There
a heel turn.
was
apparently.
like 3 or 4 turns last night.
yes.
And,
there were.
and imagine too when Reigns comes back.
Oh my god!
Imagine the
the pop.
I'm
pop
gonna
he's
cheer
gonna
him.
get.
I'm honestly like I was thinking about this yesterday. I'm probably gonna cheer the dude. I might have to become a Roman Reigns fan after this. Like honestly, seeing him the exclusive video. I don't know if you guys saw it. Going
it.
backstage into gorilla
Yeah.
position, seeing Strowman hug him and say, whatever you need, let me know. And like Heyman's hugging him, and all the women going to wrestle. Bobby, and he goes, and Jason Jordan was kind of backstage for whatever reason.
Reunion with Seth Rollins confirmed.
No,
I
he
saw
was
that.
he was with Titus, new Titus Worldwide.
Yes.
Watch out for that.
Stop.
But yeah, just watching him, like they honestly made. I shouldn't. He looks like such a good guy, and hearing about all
He
this
is a good
locker room
guy.
stuff and all this stuff that I didn't know about before. Like
He's such a great guy.
I didn't know. I knew that he was a locker room leader, but I didn't know how much he actually meant to this locker room.
He does so much for him.
Yes.
It's unbelievable, and that's why where
And-
he is.
Yeah.
He exceeds more than what everyone else does.
Mhm.
That's what John Cena did. That's why he was at the top for so long. That's why all these top dogs were at the top of the mountain for so long, because they exceeded more than what everyone else did.
Speaking of John Cena, before we dive into the rest of the review, let's talk a little bit about Crown Jewel.
Yeah.
I know you want to talk about this. John Cena and Daniel Bryan reportedly are refusing to work Crown Jewel. John Cena's in the World Cup to determine the best in the world. And Daniel Bryan has a WWE Championship match against AJ Styles. Creative have apparently been told John Cena is not working Crown Jewel. They still advertised him on Raw. They still said he's in the tournament because they're convinced they can convince him to still wrestle. Ticket sales are not yet open in Saudi Arabia. They're published, like the tickets are out there, but they are not for sale yet.
Right.
And apparently, according to Robbie Fox of Barstool, WWE are scouting new locations.
It's about time
Yeah,
they did
thank you.
that.
And this all changed within a week. Like last week,
Yes.
at this time, WWE was like, nope, show's still going on.
It should still go on. It shouldn't be canceled, but
Oh,
they
absolutely.
should move to a new location.
Right.
Obviously,
right.
the payday is not going to be as good because that's what Vince McMahon
That's
wants.
the biggest thing.
The most in the end is the most money, but at the same
But
time,
But
it's too much controversy.
without that payday, they aren't going to pay. They aren't going to be able to pay Undertaker. They aren't going to be able to pay Shawn Michaels or Brock Lesnar.
They have enough money. They'll make it work.
It's going to be a huge pay hit to them because they're going to have to take that out of their own pockets instead of the Crown Jewel money. So, I like.
What do you do here if you're Vince McMahon? Honestly,
It's bad. People are. It's literally. Do you want to take the negative publicity of still putting on the show in Saudi, or do you take the massive pay cut?
Yeah.
It's terrible.
do you sacrifice the money for better publicity?
I do have to say though, good on John Cena and Daniel Bryan,
Yeah,
Yeah.
'Cause I would want to go
especially
there.
Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Like he's now in a new contract, so he's kind of in WWE for a while. Like
Yeah.
before, his contract was up, so he could do whatever he wants.
Right.
Now he's in a contract, but he's still standing up for this kind of stuff. Obviously, John Cena has that kind of say, and apparently the other 17 wrestlers are still, are most of them are just no, like we don't want to go. It good on them. I don't know. This whole situation is.
You
so
know,
weird.
just find the biggest arena in England that you can. I mean, I know they're talking about Manchester, but just find the biggest arena you can
I've heard
find.
a lot of rumors about I don't know if that's just because all of the channels I watch are British, but
Are they talking about Manchester?
I've heard a couple. I've heard Manchester. I think I heard one Japan.
Why not go to Japan?
That'd be perfect.
Yeah, go to Japan.
Japan's a great country.
Especially for pro wrestling.
Yes, they have MPJW.
Yeah. I don't know. Crown Jewel should be interesting. We'll probably talk about it more next week, as it is Friday morning, I believe.
Friday, yeah.
I think. So.
That's at least what for now because that's Saudi time.
Right.
Which they should just move.
Right, because Greatest Royal Rumble was also, what was it, like 10 in the morning?
It was 10 11, something like that.
All right, let's dig into the actual Raw review. The first match of the night we had, which was really smart on WWE's part, because after this whole the commentators got real, and like Michael Cole was like, we come here to entertain you guys, but this is real, and
That
we're
that
all feeling
honestly
this.
always makes my heart drop whenever I
I don't
hear
think
that.
they knew about it. Because if you listen to Michael Cole and the announcers, when Roman is walking to the ring, they're plugging Crown Jewel and they're plugging the triple threat match.
Yep.
They were like, yeah, Roman's going to defend his title next week at Crown Jewel. And then
Then that happened.
Yeah, like they didn't know.
Like-
and Renee was visibly shaken.
Graves.
Graves was shaken.
Graves was almost sobbing.
And Renee referenced Dean as her husband.
Yep.
They never do that. They never do that.
Yeah.
That's gonna be fun though. I just realized with Renee on commentary with the heel Ambrose.
Her initial reaction to the dirty deeds, she was just like, no, what are you doing? Or something like that. Like, it was actually really good. Like, obviously I'm not doing it justice, but like, whatever she did, it was really good because they mentioned that earlier in the show, she had to react as the wife to this man. It was actually really, and she's like shocked, like, why are you doing that? It was really good.
It just kind of made me think when SmackDown was still like a taped show. They had like one of the Usos, because the other one was injured. They had one of the Usos on commentary, and Naomi was in the middle of a heel run, and like they had brought it up to one of the.
I do remember
They
that.
brought it up, and he's just like glossed over the fact, and it was just a hilarious bit of commentary, and that's just gonna be funny, something funny that I'm looking forward
That
to.
should be interesting. I wonder how much they play into that. But so right after that, they had Finn Balor come out. Really good way to kind of get the crowd back into it, and even the commentary were putting it over that Finn was the perfect guy to kind of get this crowd back into the wrestling and the the pop and circumstance of pro wrestling. So Balor had a match with Bobby Lashley with my man Leo Rush on the mic as his manager, which is so good. They're so good.
23-year-old piece of gold. I
Oh,
love
it's
it.
so good. And Balor reversed a dominate. I think they're calling it the Dominator. I don't remember. Balor reversed the finisher from Bobby into a roll-up, and Balor won. Good start. What did you guys think of that?
I read a report that Lashley's working hurt.
Oh, no.
So
Oh,
they
that
m-
would be so bad
So they might
for
have
him.
cut that short. Or they just did that on purpose. So maybe, I don't know.
That'd be terrible timing for him. because he's actually starting to get a good run.
Yeah, this company right now is in shambles.
That's why they gotta have an off season.
I was just talking to someone about this. They need an off season. So after WrestleMania, take a month or two off. I think that'd be perfect.
I was thinking after SummerSlam because
too.
I was just looking at it because like
I'm just
like
looking,
the Raw after WrestleMania is something you look forward to.
have a Raw and SmackDown after WrestleMania, and then take an off season.
But like what I would do is SummerSlam.
I don't think they will.
They would
Because
not
I was
do
just
that.
kind of looking at like the pay-per-view schedule, and
Rollins versus Ambrose could main event WrestleMania after the Reigns departure. Oh,
yes,
Seth
1,000 times yes.
Seth was just talking about how he wanted to main event. Anyway, continue.
I was just kind of looking at their schedule. They got like so after SummerSlam, it's like a couple B-level pay-per-views that they have, and I mean like if you take like 2 months off from that, no house shows, no Raw, no SmackDown, no nothing.
I suppose that's actually not a bad idea because then they always book the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble is the start to the road to WrestleMania.
Right.
That's actually really good
I wasn't even thinking about that until now.
Yeah.
That'd be perfect.
because then you go to SummerSlam, and then SummerSlam is like the season finale. Like WrestleMania can be like the mid-season type of thing. Maybe you do a Raw and SmackDown afterwards, take a week off, and then go back into do the second half of the season. Yeah, I don't know, something like that. That'd be interesting.
They're not going to do it.
They won't do it.
They won't.
This is all
That's so much
fantasy
more
booking.
money that they're going to lose. Well, the reason why an off season is being brought up now because a series of unfortunate circumstances that are out of their control have unfolded in the last week or so. Literally, in the span of 1
They've
week.
had a lot of injuries though over the past couple of years. Like a lot,
Especially the
of
last month or two.
injuries. Yeah.
Like a lot, but you don't expect those to happen in like one time frame. That's why they keep going.
Right.
But now it's just a very unfortunate and unlucky time.
Well,
But anyway, going back to the
anyway.
match, I think you were talking about.
Yeah, Bobby and Balor.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked to see Balor get the win because they're really going forward with this new Lashley thing
Makes me
with
hope for Balor.
Leo Rush.
My man. Lashley. It's so good. He's so good.
That's my man, Bobby Lashley.
It's so good.
I love how they call him out on commentary too
Mm-hmm.
for not wearing a shirt underneath.
I love Corey Graves too. He's like, I'm just gonna bite the bullet. And I'm just gonna talk through whatever he talks. It's just stupid.
Graves roasts everyone, and it's so funny.
It's so great. Graves is so good at his job.
Oh my god.
Backstage, we had Ziggler and McIntyre in the locker room. Ziggler was like, yeah, good job standing up to Strowman last week, but now we have to look over our shoulder all the time. And McIntyre was like, you have to look over your shoulder. I'm not scared of him. And then he awkwardly leaves. He awkwardly walks off camera. And then Ziggler's like, wait, where are you going? Like, dude, you forgot your line. And then he's like, he comes back, he goes, I'm going monster hunting. And then he leaves. Like, okay.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. Okay. We'll get to that later. Ruby Riott versus Sasha Banks. Obviously, Ruby had the Riott Squad in her corner. Sasha Banks had Bayley and Natalia in their corner because they are promoting a 6-man tag for Evolution this weekend.
Woman tag.
6-woman tag. 6-person tag. 6-wrestler tag.
We know what you mean.
Yeah.
We know what you mean.
So, and Ruby hit a right kick for the win. I forgot how good Sasha Banks is. Not
Yeah.
gonna lie. She's been diluted with this whole Bayley feud.
For
And
so long.
So, literally since
It's
Elimination
literally
Chamber.
torture.
Literally since Elimination Chamber. I think even before that, maybe even the
It was
Rumble.
definitely brewing before that too.
But
So long for
she
10
got
months.
she got a legit singles match with a decent competitor. She impressed me. And I also realized how much I actually love the Riot Kick as a finisher because she like pulls her opponent into a step-up kick.
Yeah.
It looks really good
Yeah.
when she does it right. I don't know. What did you guys think of this, and what do you think about the 6-wrestler tag going into Evolution? Cal, you could start.
You know, I'd be fine if they wanted to do like either a battle royal or a 6-man or 6-woman tag match.
Mm-hmm.
They can't do both. That's such lazy, creative writing. There are so many people.
Where
on
are the
roster.
tag belts?
There are so many people on the roster
So mad that they didn't.
that
do
could
tag.
have like a one-on-one match, and then like you could put like the people like Dana Brooke, Tamina,
Mm-hmm.
a couple of former wrestlers that weren't that great in the ring. You could put them in a battle royal. Sure, like I'd be okay with that. But just, oh, we've got like a couple tag matches and then a 6-man tag match and then a battle royal. Yay, women's wrestling! Like no, like just even like getting back to like if they would have pulled the trigger on the Bayley Sasha feud, we could have had Charlotte and Becky, and then Bayley and Sasha. The 4 horsewomen all feuding together, having at least a 20-minute match. And then on top of that, you'd have someone like Asuka
That would have been really
facing
good.
someone.
Reports are Asuka's turning heel in the Battle Royal. I'm not sure how that's going to happen, but
I'm not sure what good's that going to do for her.
I mean, hopefully they can.
Could have had Asuka versus Ember Moon. You could have just pulled the plug on that and be like, all right, who makes the most sense to...
Yeah, they could have done like cross-brand stuff.
They have a lot of like big names in the Battle Royal too, which is kind of
Tori
frustrating.
Wilson. I believe Kelly Kelly's coming
Like,
back.
that's
Michelle
like...
McCool's in it.
Maria Kanellis is wrestling for the first time in like 6 years.
Yeah.
She was out on maternity leave.
Yep, and then she broke her wrist during rehab.
Huh.
Yeah,
and now
Michelle,
she's finally
Michelle
coming back.
McCool's in
And,
it.
like,
Michelle McCool.
And not to like gripe on those
Wouldn't be
wrestlers,
Caitlyn
but
probably, no.
they were like hired during the time that it was WWE was hiring them
Right.
for like their looks. So it's like you put them in a battle royal, and like that'll hide like their not so great wrestling skills, but like just like the people that like the women like the Nia Jax, the Carmellas that can put on a good match are just getting relegated to a battle royal, and it's like,
I love
You-
how you said
you-
Nia and Carmella.
well, like they're former champions
I know
too.
what he's saying.
Fair. Carmella did improve. I will give you that. But yes, I agree. Should not do a six woman
Yeah.
and the battle
I
royal.
just want to add one more thing.
But yeah, you go ahead.
Asuka in this Battle Royal, how fast she's fallen off the map. She won the Royal Rumble in January.
And then
There
she
was, she was the dominant force ever since WrestleMania. She's fallen off the planet.
and now she's part of a tag team called the Empress's New Glow.
It's actually not that bad of a name. I give WWE credit, like compared to like all the names that they've like come up with. I give them credit on that.
Yeah, I don't know. I
But
just hate that Asuka's part.
and regarding her heel turn, I'm not sure what good that is gonna do for her, because apparently Vince McMahon has been reluctant to push her because she doesn't speak good English.
Fair. Apparently, there's also a rumored double turn with Becky and Charlotte. Obviously,
That would work.
It would most likely just be Charlotte turning on Becky, and Becky would still be the same character, just face.
Right.
Like the commentators would like her, which is
Worse it's been all along.
Exactly. So that would be interesting, because then Becky, they could finish off that feud. Charlotte can go on a heel something, maybe go over to Raw, and then Asuka versus Becky. I don't know. There's a lot of rumors going in. We'll see what happens at the show. Nia Jax was backstage, and she said, "This pay-per-view isn't about gender. It's about talent." And I sat there like, okay, that's a really good sentiment, but it's literally about gender. It's literally the first ever all women's pay-per-view.
Wasn't Nia Jax like one of the people that subtweeted like WWE's like the decision like
For the Battle Royal, yeah.
like I could tell like just that I'm like, yeah, that's totally
don't
not
know.
scripted.
It was very... Yeah, they are.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
The board goes to sleep.
Oh,
Um,
I'm sorry.
no, it's okay.
Continue. My bad.
You're good, Tyler.
No, I
Making
agree.
sure
And this promo was super scripted. I don't want to talk about it. DX then came in the ring, and we get back to 2006 DX, glow sticks, and talking about we're not the ones running for mayor, and
that was a good line. I
it
like
was
it.
that was a good line. The rest of the promo is just weird. And then Undertaker's dong hit, and everyone got super excited because it's like, oh, Undertaker's here. Just kidding, it's a pre-recorded promo. This segment was also controversial. I don't know if you guys heard about this,
No.
because they were at a graveyard talking about graves and talking about resting in peace, while they're still technically going to Saudi Arabia, and everything that just happened with Jamal Khashoggi. Some people took that as bad taste.
See, well, here's the thing. People who think that are taking the real world and the fake world too far.
Right.
This is sorry, not the fake world, the stage world, I should say, because I don't
The
like the word.
entertainment
I don't
world.
like the word fake. Entertainment.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't like the word fake when it comes to wrestling. I hate it. But People just don't understand that they're not going real life here with the Saudi Arabia situation. This is all just for strictly entertainment purposes. This is the Undertaker's character. He's from a graveyard.
This also was very similar to last week's promo, just in a different setting.
It was just like in like a locker room or something.
I am not excited for this match. I'm really not. And I should be, because it's Shawn Michaels'
If it's
return.
a spot fest, it will be
I
good.
know.
But I know it's not going to be a spot
It's not
fest.
gonna be.
I forget. Does this match have a special guest referee or no?
No.
It's just tag team match.
Uh,
Anyway, we gotta plug through. This is where they announced Braun Strowman versus Lesnar at Crown Jewel for the vacant Universal Championship. Hopefully. There is rumors that Brock is gonna win. Because they're still not convinced Braun is whatever.
Why?
I don't know. Next we had Paul Heyman in the ring. This was great because Paul Heyman started the promo off talking about real life, because tonight was one of the nights that we could pull the curtain away. And he talked about how much he respects Roman, how much he loves Roman Reigns, blah blah blah. And then he put over the fact that that Brock, is going to beat Strowman or what. I don't know how he worded it. Whatever. He's putting over the match like he does. He does a really good job. This is a very good promo. Strowman then comes out because he says something about him, and this brings out Strowman. And Strowman says, in a very face way, he says, I'm going to win the title, I'm going to be here every week, and I'm going to be a fighting champion. I was like, oh.
I do like the line
He's a
that he
face
had
now.
too, where he was like, when Roman comes back,
Yes.
he's first in line.
Bump my mic again. Yes, I did like that too. That was the point where I was like, oh man, he is actually face. And then he goes, he does his Raw, and the music starts playing. Perfectly timed. Drew McIntyre runs down the ring and hits him with a Claymore. Drew McIntyre got 8 feet in the air on that Claymore. God, I love Drew McIntyre. He's so good. Yeah, and that was he found the monster. He went monster hunting. This was perfect. I love it.
It advanced a bunch of storylines too, which I thought was
Yeah,
good.
it did. It did a really good job of like so many intertwining things, and that's why I think Strowman's gonna actually win, because they're gonna do Strowman, and then they're gonna do Strowman versus McIntyre.
That would be awesome to see. No one wants to see part-time Brock Lesnar anymore.
Exactly.
People are sick of seeing a part-time Brock Lesnar as it is,
Exactly.
and they hate part-time Brock Lesnar champion even more.
Exactly.
So
that's why I don't think they'll make that mistake again. We'll see.
who knows? Vince McMahon is obsessed with Brock Lesnar because
He is a draw. He is
I mean, he is a big draw, but it gets old after a while.
And I do like seeing his matches, but I don't like his I don't like him as
champion
because I want my champion on TV.
Right.
Then we had Elias in the ring. Speaking of heel and face turns,
Yes.
Elias comes in the ring and he does his normal shtick.
Okay.
Boo your local sports team, blah blah blah, whatever. And then he said, or he actually, I don't know if he did a local sports team thing, because he wrote a song about Apollo Crews and how Apollo Crews always interrupts him, and then Apollo Crews interrupts him. Perfect. Apollo Crews says, "I'm sick of not getting opportunities. I'm actually gonna start doing stuff now." They have a match. Apollo Crews is incredible. He has no charisma whatsoever, but he's incredible in the ring. But eventually, Elias, he kicked out of a standing moonsault. Apollo set up for his spinning powerbomb, or not Elias. Apollo set up for his spinning powerbomb. Elias reversed it into his drift away. 1, 2, 3. Elias wins, so kaput's on the Apollo push.
Yep.
And then that was kind of it. And then we cut to something else, and it was Kurt Angle pushing the World Cup.
You want to talk about
scripted?
scripted?
Holy crap, that was bad. I really liked the content in it.
I liked how they
good.
built up like all the performers, but
it's gonna be a good promo. I just wish someone else would have done it.
And next, I move on to the next performer.
And next, we have the Viper, Randy Orton. Just shut up. Yeah, so we had that. And then you cut back to the ring, and Elias is on the stage because he feels like he he feels like he wants to do his performance still, but then Baron Corbin comes out, and Baron Corbin's like, "No, you can't do your performance. And if Stephanie didn't like you so much, I would fire you, blah, blah, blah." And then Elias was like, no. And then Baron's like, "All right, just leave." And Elias starts to leave. And Baron turns around. Elias smashes a guitar over his back. This is great. Elias is, I guess, face now.
He is face.
I think he's face now.
So what I've read is that because Reigns is gone for Lord knows how long,
Yeah.
And Ambrose turned heel. They're turning Strowman and Elias face to make up for that,
Right.
which is so smart.
Which is weird because like last week they turned a couple people heel. Well, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Lashley.
Yeah. Lashley's
It's-
heel now. There's been a lot of switches, but Strowman and Elias have been over for such a long time.
Yes.
So this was a good time to turn him face anyway.
Yeah, and people do make the argument that Elias was getting such good heel work or heel heat. Why would you turn him face? Because he's getting good face heat
Right.
until he says that one sports line.
Yeah.
Now he just doesn't say that sports line. Now he compliments the sports team and he gets that.
Or like all he has to do, like if like say when we go to Milwaukee, all he's got to do is like make like a gripe against the Chicago Cubs, something like that.
And it could honestly rub onto the heels that interrupt him because the heels will get booed when they interrupt
Yeah.
him.
Right.
I think
And like the announcers too have like played it up like, oh, we wanted to watch that performance of Elias.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
I'm down
If
with it.
if he's in Milwaukee, he can just say Bucks and 6 or something.
Can you imagine if
Yeah.
that was his line?
That'd be great. Then we had the women's championship contract signing with Nikki and Ronda. Not too much to say about this. Nikki slapped Ronda, and then Ronda just kind of laughed it off and then signed the contract. They both signed it, and then Ronda said, "I will end you" at the pay-per-view or something like this. It's a testament to the creative team that the best storytelling out of this feud have come on Twitter and Instagram. It's sad. But I don't know.
I do like that line that Nikki Bella had though, where she brought up the diva fact and was like, "Oh,
That I'm the diva and
Yeah.
you're gonna lose to me." Interesting. So then we had the go home women's angle going into Evolution off of Raw was a fatal 4-way with Ember Moon, Nia Jax, Tamina, and Dana Brooke.
Oh gosh.
That was the last women's segment. I mean, technically there was the backstage stuff next, but
Who won?
Ember Moon won.
Okay.
Tamina hit a super kick on Nia. I don't know where Dana was at this point in the match, and then Ember hit the Eclipse on Tamina for the win.
Okay.
So Ember's not going to win the Battle Royal.
Probably not.
I
no.
don't know. This was stupid. Anyway, next backstage we had Trish and Lita doing a promo. Mickey and I wrote down Alexa because I wasn't paying attention. It was actually Alicia and Mickey attacking Trish and Lita. And then but then Trish and Lita ended up getting the upper hand, and they said that's how we do it back in the Attitude Era. When women were treated like garbage.
Right.
So apparently Alexa's hurt.
Yeah.
Alexa either has a broken nose or a concussion or something. She might not be ready for Evolution this weekend. And it might be Alicia Fox and Mickey James versus Trish and
I mean, at
Trish and Lita.
least Trish and Lita would win.
yeah, like that's like the one thing where I was kind of thinking like, oh, it's just Mickey will be there to take the pin. Like, Alicia Fox could take the pin now.
And reports were saying that Trish and Lita were going to stick around after this and do a couple big pay-per-views.
Oh, nice.
So that gives me hope that Alexa can be outside of the ring, and then they can run a program where Trish was like, "You were scared of me, that's why you didn't wrestle." And then
They could just do a
another feud.
Trish and Alexa Bliss program.
Exactly, at
Nothing wrong with
Survivor
that.
Series or Royal Rumble or something. So yeah. Other than that, what did you guys think of the show? And what do you think of Evolution going in?
I mean, the beginning and the ending were phenomenal. The rest,
I like the turns.
yeah, turns were good. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I give it. I don't know. It was pretty good.
I gave it a 4.5 out of 5.
It was a roller coaster of
Yeah.
emotions for me.
Yes.
I mean, like they handled the Roman situation as good as they could.
Yes.
Just with all the turns and everything, I give it a solid A.
Yeah, I agree.
I thought it was a good show.
You guys excited for Evolution?
Yeah.
The Packers play that
I'm
day
excited
at
for the
3:25.
2 title matches.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
They did not do that great of a
Oh,
job.
3
with
title
building.
matches. NXT.
yeah, they
I
didn't do the
forgot.
best job building it
And the
up.
Mae Young Classic final. Okay, I'm excited for a couple matches.
I mean, I'll watch it, but it's not the most excited I've been for a pay-per-view.
I completely agree. All right, thank you everyone for listening. If you missed some of the show, we're on YouTube, and same time tomorrow at 4 for the SmackDown review. Thanks, guys.
It's hypnotic, I'm on a move with it. They all watching like what he do with it. Look at him go, look at him go.